Hold up. Wait a minute.
Bruh.
Did you hit the like button? Drop some rabbits in the chat. Let's go.
Hit that like, hit that like. Welcome to the chat. Let's chit chat, hit chat. Hit that like, hit that like. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop them, drop them, drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop them, drop them, drop them, drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. If you want the tea, come see me. Rabbit hole is the place to be for real news, not fake news. Celebrity news, breaking news around the clock. Real talk, best on the block. I rock, I rock, I rock, I rock. Real talk, best on the block. I rock, I rock. Hit that like, hit that like. Welcome to the chat. Let's chit chat, chit chat. Hit that like, hit that like. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop some, drop them, drop them, drop them, drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop them, drop them, drop them, drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. True crime is my specialty. Exposing the industry. Unsolved mysteries. Sticking to reality. Fair use commentary. Talking about cults. Trying to get results. Exploring cults. Exploring. Researching. Debunking. Investigating. Being nosy. Super nosy. Being messy. Being shady. Rabbit hole news. That's me. The chick with ADHD. Unmedicated. But quite educated. Hit that like. Hit that like. Welcome to the chat. Let's chit chat. Hit chat. Hit that like. Hit that like. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. Drop some rabbits. Drop some rabbits. Drop them. Drop them. Drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. Drop some rabbits. Drop them. Drop them. Drop them. Drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. Hit that like. Hit that like. Let's go. Let's go. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show.
We listen and we don't judge.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hold up. My desk is crazy all the way over here. This intro is so long. Mrs. Ed, I understand. It's very long. It's about, typically intros are like supposed to be 2 to 3 minutes. And we have the intro to kind of give some space for me to, get a drink and for y'all to get your stuff ready. That's why I have the intro. So I know I've gotten the feedback and I might trim it down, but some people really like it, and it's only one intro that I play. I only play it once a day. You said best intro. Well, thank you. Thank you. It is a long intro though. People have said this to me before. Hold up. I'm trying to see. My thing is like, y'all like the intro. Look at y'all. Some people think it's too long. It's okay. Never change it. You said never change it, Rabbit. Love the intro. Don't trim it. You said, is Tinkle Tits in the chat? The intro is entertaining. No need to trim it. Listen, Linda, I got to tell y'all something. We listen and we don't judge.
We listen and we don't judge.
Listen and we don't judge. Okay, don't judge me. Judge your mama. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Getting the people some time to get in here. Listen, I cut that up, but there's some other clips that I used to love doing like little sound effect gifs and stuff like that. I need to work on that. So I'm gonna be working on that for for the channel and whatnot. Yo, you say, oh damn, I judge. Well, I mean, it's a lot of judgmental people. I mean, myself included. Please don't change it. You said don't change it. Yeah, don't judge me, judge your mama. That's right. Oh my God. Mrs. Ed. Well, I'm sorry your mama is deceased, but it's a saying. Don't do this. It's your mom. Mrs. Ed, you kind of came in here kind of like, you don't like the intro. Your mom is deceased, and I mean, may she rest in peace. But like, I'm just like, okay, well, maybe, am I the right vibe for you? Are you on the right? Sometimes you walk into the wrong room or whatever. I just want to make sure. You know what I mean? So, shout out to you. But I'm just joking. Anyways, welcome. Sister Crab's like, girl, bye. I don't know. It's like everything is wrong. All right, then. Okay. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, everybody. Yes. Happy Sunday. Oh, my God. M7666. Here's to your beautiful smile, Rabbit. Give us your beautiful laughter and get through these hard times. I love it. Oh, well, thank you so much. Justice for the victims. Yes. Justice for the victims. Always and forever. Thank you. Appreciate it. M7. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for the super chat. You said the intro gives you time to compose yourself. Yeah, man, I might have to play it again if I need some, to top my coffee, You said, are you tired? Are you hungry? Or are you both? Right? Well, thank you. Yes, Palm Sunday. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Welcome everybody. My daughter thinks I'm annoying because I sing and dance. Well, I'm happy that it makes you guys happy. The intro does. So, I mean, and I'm glad because a lot of the topics that we talk about are pretty, they're heavy and they're tough and, it just literally, it can get you in a mood. So I really try to like lighten up the situation, because it's a lot. But let's get it together, guys. Let's get going because we still have so much to review. I'm glad you do. Shout out to everybody. We do. We all have our days. Absolutely. Absolutely. Y'all are so funny in the chat. Okay. Let's get it together because I want us to talk about, let me look at the docket real quick. We're going to start with Cyndi Lauper. Oh man, Cyndi Lauper. So first of all, I love Cyndi Lauper. I really do. She's like my fave, least problematic celebrity, I would think. Her son, I don't know. There's something going on. There's always something going on there. But apparently, not only is it her son, but her husband got tied into this lawsuit, right? And I just have to say that I'm like, oh my God, like what is going on? Yeah, I love Cyndi. Yeah, I love Cyndi Lauper. Like, if she does something, then I'm gonna be very much upset. But we'd have to call her out. We definitely have to call her out. Yeah, what happened? So let me tell you, it didn't really make a whole lot of news last week. So I wanted to bring it up to the radar because I thought it was a good conversation for us to have as well, right? So Cyndi Lauper, hold up, y'all. Here we go. So Cyndi Lauper's son actually wasn't what Cyndi did. It was actually what her son did. Cyndi Lauper's husband sued in connection to an essay allegations against the son. Now, there was this lawsuit. That lawsuit, because the son filed for bankruptcy, essentially, it basically, like the allegations are there, but it got dismissed because of the bankruptcy. Okay. So the plaintiff then decided to move on to Cyndi Lauper's husband, because apparently he might have been present when the assault occurred. Okay. So a Jane Doe who previously sued Declan Lauper, over an alleged 2020 attack, accused David Thornton of enabling the gender-motivated violence I can't even speak. Let me get some water, y'all. Perpetrated. I need some coffee. Against her. Excuse me. Let's see if we can get to the article. I'm already signed up. I don't know why they do this to me. Anyways, we'll move on to the next one. Hold up. I can pull this together. So they moved on to her husband, David Thornton. The husband of Cyndi Lauper has been named in a civil lawsuit filed in New York that stems from an essay allegation against the couple's son, Declan Lauper. The complaint was filed by an anonymous plaintiff identified as Jane Doe and related to an alleged incident that took place in November of 2020 at an apartment in Manhattan's Soho neighborhood. The same plaintiff previously filed a separate lawsuit directly against Declan in 2024 based on the same allegations on the same alleged encounter. In the new filing, Thornton is not accused of direct involvement in the alleged assault, but of enabling the circumstances under which it allegedly occurred. The lawsuit claimed that Thornton provided access to the apartment where the incident took place and failed to take precaution despite allegedly being aware of prior accusations involving his son. Okay, so people are aware. There's prior accusations involving his son. According to the complaint, Doe alleges that she was invited to the apartment by Declan and was reimbursed for transportation costs. Once there, the lawsuit states a disagreement arose regarding an essay act. Doe claims she expressed discomfort and attempted to leave, at which point the situation escalated. The filing alleges that Declan prevented her from leaving by taking her phone and physically blocking her attempts to exit. The complaint further described a series of alleged actions in which Doe says she was restrained and assaulted. So that's what it is. Yeah, you said negligent entrustment. Okay. You said, hold up. You said, yeah, retrospect, because I love Madonna. I know. Declan is a cute name. I will say that, but damn, what is going on? You said, sounds like the dip. Well, I mean, I have to wonder, like, we weren't there, right? So what happened exactly? Who intervened? Who didn't intervene? What happened? Right? That is really the question. You said, I just saw a small blip about it. Did you? Yeah, it didn't really like go viral like that, but it was a little bit of news. I didn't even know she had a son either. I mean, I should have known, but I do. I mean, I like Cyndi Lauper. I do. Um, you said she was so cool way back. I think she was cooler than Madonna too. I'm just saying. For me, I don't know. But then, of course, you guys are gonna come for me if I say that, because you'll be like, no way, because I know some of y'all are Madge, fans. I'm like, back in the day when she was the it girl, Madge, sure. Madonna was the it girl. Okay, so but now I just can't. I can't do Madonna anymore. I can't. The lady looks like she's falling apart, and I'm like, I really like, I know she doesn't want to retire, but I don't know. I said, just watch your documentary too. It was really good. Was it, Amanda? Okay. I always liked her. She popped up on that crime show. Ooh. You said this gives 99 Luft balloons a new meaning. For real? Really? You said, okay, wait. Sue the son, but he files bankruptcy, so he goes after the dad. I'm not sure about this. Yeah. So apparently, I mean, she involved the dad because he didn't intervene. And I heard this too, that it's like very notoriously hard to win on a situation like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So something to kind of keep in mind. Now, again, this lawsuit, again, 2020, all right, just so people are aware. And then when he filed bankruptcy, I guess they were like, at the time they were kind of pretty far in the lawsuit, and then they basically couldn't go through. The judge dismissed it there because of the fact that the bankruptcy specifically. I didn't even know that was a thing. I didn't know that was a thing that people could do on an SA type of lawsuit on a victim's. Like, I can understand if it was creditors, like, but I guess if you're going to owe money to a victim, you would become a debtor, right? So anyways, let me stop. So the allegations outlined in the lawsuit included claims of physical force, threats, verbal abuse. Doe also states that following an incident, Declan contacted her to apologize and attempted to reach out to her multiple times afterwards. The case against Thornton centers on the argument that he knowingly allowed access to the property despite being aware of prior allegations involving his son. As part of the claim, the lawsuit references earlier accusations made publicly by a former partner of Declan, who alleges incidents of DB and related misconduct in 2018. It is unclear whether those earlier allegations resulted in legal action or formal findings. The filing also references additional legal issues involving Declan in recent years, including a 2022 case in which he pled guilty to theft and a separate 2024 case involving a gun and rug charges, for which he received probation and was ordered to undergo treatment. Jane Doe's earlier lawsuit against Declan has been moving forward towards mediation, but proceedings were delayed after he filed for Chapter 7. There you go. So they were going to mediation. He files for Chapter 7 shortly after, before a scheduled hearing. Now, was that a strategic move? Because he probably talked to a lawyer. And the lawyer probably told him, like, listen, this you got to fight chapter 7. I mean, there's so many chapters. 13, 11, 7, 6, 7. I don't know. So Chapter 7 bankruptcy shortly after a scheduled hearing. The current lawsuit seeks to establish liability beyond the alleged perpetrator, extending responsibility to a third party based on claims of negligence and prior knowledge. Legal experts note that such claims can be difficult to prove, just like Sister Craft said in the chat, as they require demonstrating that the defendant had a duty of care and failed to act in a way that could have prevented harm. Thornton nor his representatives have publicly addressed the allegations as of now. The plaintiff's legal team has also not issued additional statements beyond the filing. So it's going to be a hard one for her to win. But I mean, let me ask you guys a question. If there's an Airbnb And I thought about this too when I was hearing kind of the details. If there's an Airbnb and an assault occurs in the Airbnb, okay? Let's say that there's I don't know, like people go to this Airbnb because people go party, right? Somebody checks it out every other weekend, every other month, and they do a party. Somebody gets assaulted, I don't know, every 6 months. Would the Airbnb be responsible for providing a place for these alleged crimes to occur, for the assault to occur? Would that be also like you're checking out to the same person, or for whatever reason you're attracting these kinds of customers that are assaulting people, sexually assaulting people? Like, would that fall into that category? I guess what I'd have to see the and I mean it's different in every state, but I'd have to see kind of how it's written to understand. You know what I mean? You said y'all are still talking about bands. You said typos of the main existence. Almost always my words get mixed up. Okay, hold on. Let me see. It's his dad. Yeah. So his dad's like, you should have known. You should have known that your son is into all kinds of things, and therefore I'm suing you. You said, well, most women don't get paid. Sadly, he needed jail time. And I do wonder about that because it's not like that assault happened long ago. Did she ever file a police report? I do wonder, you know? Let me see. I love Madonna. You said that came out all wrong. Hold up, y'all. Well, let me know what you guys think in the comments about the information. Y'all are still talking about these musicians. You said, I mean, and the only reason why Cyndi Lauper is even being mentioned is because it's her child and her husband. So there is that. Remember during the pizza fence time, okay, hold up. I can't imagine. Isn't her son a grown? Yeah, he's grown. So why aren't there? Like, I do wonder about police reports. You said I can't imagine that a certain amount of due diligence would be applicable during check-ins. Well, I do wonder like about that. Yo, okay, so if you guys remember back in the Diddy trial, remember when they were talking about the hotels and like the different names that some of these prostitutes were checking in and into and whatnot. So I think that could be like they knew that Diddy was using different names, and when they were done doing the activities that they were doing in these rooms were like damaged. You're talking about severe, like, because they were there for days and they would be having all kinds of those kinds of parties, you know what I mean? And they were there for days and everything, and they would damage these rooms. All kinds of damages would occur. So it does make you wonder, it's not like, are they looking away and acting like they don't see anything or what? You said, are you going to run background checks to whoever's renting? That's a great point. How do you know? Especially if it's like a lot of assaults that are happening. I mean, that's a great, I don't know. You said once a crime occurs, the owner is officially on notice. It's interesting. So I don't know. I kind of wonder a little bit about that. So yeah, if it's an ongoing thing, yes, if I own Airbnbs, I would definitely provide a place for a victim if they were out of town. Gotcha. So I don't know, something to think about. But anyways, so moving on from the Cyndi Lauper news. I mean, just sad situation. Hopefully that gets figured out, because I mean, the fact that it was dismissed, but also I do wonder about criminal charges and whatnot. And I mean, hopefully she gets justice, that being the victim. And if they find that that's what the case is. But I didn't see a lot of news as far as coverage goes. Now, we're going to talk about another person here who this guy right here. And I found this article that I was like, oh, this gives a lot more context to the charges. And we've talked about this case. Y'all remember Caleb Flynn, the American Idol murder guy, okay? Who loves his wife, loves Jesus, and loves daisies. I don't know. I'm just totally joking. He didn't say that. But the ex-American Idol contestant faces new charges. And we talked about these new charges, but this article is interesting as far as how they break it down and what these charges are about exactly. So a formal indictment accuses Caleb Flynn of attempting to intimidate a witness. We heard about that. in the days after February 16th killing of his wife, Ashley Flynn. Now, a former American Idol contestant, Caleb Flynn, is now facing additional charges in connection with the February killing of his wife, Ashley, in his Ohio home. His children were asleep, okay? His children were asleep. Ashley, a beloved volleyball coach and a mom of two, was found dead after what husband, Caleb, allegedly said was a break-in in their Ohio home in the early mornings of February 16th. We saw the body cam footage. He was crying. He was distraught. None of it was making sense, but he had quite the show there, you know. Authorities arrested Caleb on February 19th on several charges, including murder, according to the court records previously cited by People. Now, a formal indictment filed this month in the Miami County Common Pleas Court and obtained by People shows Caleb is facing 2 additional charges of witness intimidation, 2 additional counts of murder, and 1 count of aggravated murder. Okay. So the original complaint reviewed by People in the immediate aftermath of Ashley's killing did not indicate these charges. They were included in the indictment filed on Wednesday, March 18th. Okay. So in the indictment, authorities accused Caleb of attempting to intimidate someone who witnessed the crime. Somebody saw the crime. Okay. Now, mind you, the BS story that he gave us, y'all remember that? He said, what did he say? I don't know. Somebody came in, and then the 911 people asked him, "Did you check on your kids?" Yes, no, I don't know. And then he's like, She has 2 gunshot wounds to the head. She is dead. I'm like, and we were sitting here, we're like, did you just? If I'm a juror member, and somebody walks in to a situation where their husband or significant other or wife is murdered, and they're able to tell me that they were shot in the head twice. How would you know that they were shot in the head twice? If you didn't do it. That's such a interesting thing to put out. She was shot twice. Right on the dispatch 911 call. Because, I mean, people don't do that. And I do wonder, well, and I was thinking this too, but I don't think so, minds, y'all. Because I was trying to figure this out. Why didn't they give him like child, you know, it should be child abuse charges if you decide to kill somebody in front of your kids. I don't know about you guys. Yeah, it's giving John Paul Miller vibes for sure. Like, I'm thinking in my mind, if you decide to, it's no different than DV, right? But if you decide to off your spouse, you should, in front of your children at that, there should be some charges and some, right? But that's just my thought. I don't know. Like child endangerment. I didn't even see that. Hate you. Hate you. I like your first of all, shout out to you. I like your little picture. Hate you 8340. Thank you so much for the $4.99 love. Look at Hate You's Chihuahua, so cute. Thank you so much. And thank you for the super chat. That's really cute. Okay. So I have to wonder about that. But apparently in the indictment, authorities accused Caleb of attempting to intimidate someone who witnessed the crime. He was charged with 2 counts, but it wasn't immediately clear if more than one witness was subjected to this alleged intimidation. Because I thought it was the kids. But if you're intimidating the kids, there has to be something more to this, right? The time frame for the alleged offense was listed as February 16th and February 18th. The days between Ashley's killing and Caleb's arrest. Look at that. So did he have time? Did somebody witness the killing and he had time to go around and intimidate the person who witnessed the killing? Further details pertaining to the charge, such as who is accused of trying to intimidate, were not available. Caleb and Ashley share 2 daughters, both of whom were inside the residence when the alleged murder took place. Ashley brought endless light of our world to our world, and we're trying to navigate this immense loss. This is so sad because she was really young. Her family said in a statement, adding that they believe Caleb's arrest was made carefully and not without serious consideration. They said that the process is being handled appropriately. Caleb was a contestant on the 12th season of American Idol. In the interview for the 2013 show, he told viewers what made him unique was his religion and his very, very pretty wife, whom he loved more than anything. According to the indictment, Caleb has not been charged According to the indictment, Caleb has been charged with 1 count of aggravated murder, 3 counts of murder, and 2 counts of felonious assault, 3 counts of tampering with evidence, and 2 counts of intimidation of a witness. Okay. So he pled not guilty to all the charges during an arraignment on Thursday, per the courts. I do wonder, I don't know if the charges are for the kids specifically, if they're the ones that witnessed everything, which if they were, that's just so sad to like overall, it's just sad. Yeah, that's what I got to say about that. Okay, let's talk about, so the victims of Epstein are suing the DOJ and Google. Did y'all hear about this? Did y'all hear about this? Because I was like, oh, snap. All right, I'm here for it. What had happened? They're suing, and I'm glad that they are, because especially, Google, okay?
Survivors of late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein are now suing the Trump administration and Google.
Ooh.
The class action lawsuit is over the alleged disclosure of...
Say what? Say what again? So it's more than one. The administration, Google, and who else?
Personal information from the Justice Department's release of the Epstein Files over the past few months. While the government later withdrew the personal information from the publicly released files, survivors say it was too late. They say their info continues to show up in search results and AI-generated content. We reached out to the DOJ and Google for comment, but have not heard back. Let's bring in NBC News senior justice reporter Ryan Riley. And Ryan, tell us more about this suit, specifically why Google is involved and where the suit goes from here.
Yeah, there was a lot of websites that basically replicated the release of the information from DOJ, putting it in other formats. And so all of that is still sort of out there on Google because a lot of that information was initially published by the Justice Department. It's accessible in other formats. And so that's essentially what this lawsuit is focusing on, trying to get some change from Google and make sure there are some financial penalties in the plaintiff's view to encourage them to stop this sort of thing from happening in the future, Christine.
What else are the survivors seeking here with this lawsuit? What are they saying?
Yeah, we have a statement, part of the lawsuit here that says that the victims here were suffering from renewed trauma, and that strangers call them, they email them, they threaten their physical safety and accuse them of conspiring with Epstein when they are in reality Epstein's victims.
I want to know, how come we were so quick to redact people, the people that are being accused versus the victims? I'm so confused by the process or the thought. Maybe, I don't know. I think it was intentional. So I'm glad that they're suing. I really am. Yeah. Sue them for everything, because at this point, there should be no excuse. I mean, people get fired for things like that, right? So what are we doing? Why weren't we able to protect their information? But we'll protect the alleged perpetrator, right? The perpetrator gets more protection because we don't want to accuse anybody, right? But the victims don't. You can't make this ish up. The boss, bish, thank you so much for this $20 super sticker, love. Shout out to you. Oh my God, y'all are really showing out today. Thank you so much, guys. Make sure you guys hit the like button. It's free. Hype up the video when it's available. And thank you, the boss, bish. Thank you so much. Shout out to everybody that has super chatted. You said, yeah, you said, I have a lot of questions. You said government is a Latin word. It means mind control, says just Dave. There's that. Sue the pants off of them, period. I'm just sipping my tea while listening to all the crazy tea. Shout out to you. I did not hear about the lawsuit. No, I didn't even know that they had. I'm glad that they are. I mean, I know everybody here stands with the victims, but why are we protecting? We protect these alleged perpetrators, abusers, the people that travel with them, the people that ate, with them, that sat in the cafeteria table with them. I mean, that guru guy, everybody else is okay. Everybody else is, but it's y'all can't protect the actual victims. It's so weird to me. And I almost feel like it's intentional. They did this shit on purpose.
So what they're arguing here is that because this information continues to be published online, this is causing them additional stress and trauma. And, obviously the Justice Department faced a lot of criticism for their handling of the release of the Epstein files. And the Justice Department contended that in order to, it was sort of an unrealistic deadline that they had to meet up with what Congress had mandated they do, which is release all of these Epstein files. They had hundreds of attorneys working on it, but obviously a lot of information ended up getting out there. The Justice Department did try to get some of that and pull some of that back after it was released. But, the consequences of that information being released in the first place are pretty far-reaching here, Christine.
All right, Ryan Riley, thank you.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and
Thank you. Okay. I'm here for it. Sue them, sue them, sue them. That's what I have to say about that. Sue them. Sue them all. Sue them all. All right. Let's move on because we have to talk about this next one. Oh, Lord have mercy. This next one is like, let's talk about something that was definitely, the New York Times did a piece, okay? And it's on Frankie Paul. Now, I'm still kind of like people have talked about it. I've heard some commentary about Frankie Paul and, just people being outraged and everything. And I get it. Please note, I share the sentiments. But people are really surprised. I mean, because she kind of showed herself already. So now it's like, well, did y'all see this? Did we not know? I don't know. And I didn't really follow her show. Like that one show with the mom talks and the what is it? The Mormon wives or whatever. Like the girl has always kind of been out there. Very aggressive, does her thing. And so now it's like people are kind of piecing things together. And I get it. Maybe people didn't really know. Yeah, they went into the I call it the pineapple, and somebody corrected me and said, Rabbit, it's the upside down pineapple. I said, Lord have mercy. I don't like my fruit upside down. I'm just saying. I like fruit, but I don't like my fruit upside down. Okay? Just the pineapple. All right? You said, yes, that's right. Perfect.
We listen and we don't judge.
We listen and we don't judge. You said leave the pineapples alone. Fizz was like, we knew and we judged. Y'all make me laugh in the morning. No worries, Joey. Shout out to you, man. Yeah, just Dave. I don't think you're lying about that one. Anyways, moving on. I'm judging, says Tina. Rabbit says, I'm judging. That's right. Yeah, listening and totally judging. That's right. Okay. So her past was no secret. I love the drama. Her past was no secret. Footage of a child's cry changed everything. Before being cast as the Bachelorette, Frankie Paul had discussed with police on podcasts and on TV the domestic dispute that involved her 5-year-old daughter. When a video leaked last week of the reality television personality Frankie Paul, like the 3-name situation is like really killing me because I'm trying to say it really fast and I can't sometimes. Throwing chairs at her boyfriend in a fit of rage, it was the sound of her child's cry that most concerned observers. Miss Paul was, by her own account, blacked out from alcohol for most of the night in 2023 and overflowing with grief and anger over a raft of personal issues. Now, let me say this. Frankie Paul, if this was John Frankie Paul, if this was a man, I'm sorry, I'm just going to say it. If this was a man throwing chairs out of a fit of rage and people were filming it, you know for a fact that that would be somebody that couldn't come back from that. Okay? I think people should know that. In the video, which was published last week by TMZ, Miss Paul is seen putting her partner at that time, Dakota, into a headlock, kicking him and throwing 2 metal bar stools at him. Now, people have said, Rabbit, you don't understand. Dakota is like a gaslighter, like Dakota. And I'm like, look, I love you, but you're not in that relationship. And I'm not in that relationship either. And what we're seeing is all this ish playing out, and we're listening and we're judging based on that. He could be a manipulator or a gaslighter, but he wasn't the one throwing chairs and, headlocking her at that time. And that's the thing, right? Because even when the cameras aren't rolling, is that the ish that's happening when the cameras aren't around? That's the question that people need to ask, right? So he might be abusing her and he might be a gaslighter, but that doesn't give her the right to get the hands on him when the kids are right there. Okay? I got to say that. And thank you. I would agree. How come the father hasn't said anything? I would 1000% agree, right? So let's keep going, okay? It further goes. Dakota warned her that her 5-year-old daughter is nearby on the couch, but she throws a third stool. Exactly where it lands is obscured by the chaos of the footage, but the child begins to wail. See, this is horrible. When I worked in CPS, there was let me tell y'all something. This right here is unacceptable. There was a case I'll never forget, and it came in, I remember. There was a couple that was arguing, and the woman, she was upset, and she threw a wine glass at her husband. The wine glass, her child was right behind him. It wound up slicing the child in the face. Okay. We got a call from the hospital because they had to stitch the baby up. That's the BS that I'm talking about. Okay. That's not okay. And this shit happens more often than people realize. Kids get hurt because when people start throwing things at each other and it gets real physical, man or woman, people need to get involved and intervene. It's a real, this happens more often than people understand. How children, even unintentionally, I'm sure that the mama did not mean to throw, but she did, and it didn't hit the guy, it hit the child. It cut the child, and the child had to get stitches. Your daughter just got hit in the head with a metal chair, Mr. Dakota said, yelling at Miss Paul. Because of you, she screams. This is what she said. No, you go and help your daughter. Apparently, this is what's heard behind the little video there, okay? The emergence of the video quickly sunk Miss Paul's star turn on The Bachelorette. Ooh. Quickly sunk Mrs. Paul's turn on The Bachelorette, which Disney's ABC shelved last week, only days before it's scheduled to premiere. Now, the wrenching response of the child in the video was a decisive factor in the conversation between executives, said a person familiar with their decision making who was not authorized to speak public. So, but again, that's what was caught on video. What wasn't caught on video? That's the question. It is far from the first time that the ongoing public controversy, new video evidence, inflamed public opinion, caused an institution of rapidly change course. Reading about something and seeing something is just as fundamentally different. It's a fundamentally different emotional experience, says Emma, a journalist and a podcaster. And watching the video was just very, very visceral. ABC was aware of the altercation when the network agreed to cast her. Okay, look at that. Even before the video release, the child's presence had been well documented. Mrs. Paul, was arrested that night and faced charges that included DV in the presence of a child. CPS should have been involved right there. Okay. Months later, she reached an agreement with prosecutors in which she pled guilty to aggravated assault of Dakota. The other charges, including one misdemeanor count of child abuse, were dismissed. Why? She hit the child with the metal chair. Did the child get medical attention? This is the BS, y'all. Like, we excuse this shit. But if this was a man, let's be very real. If this was a man, people would be feeling some type of way and would have a different. It's a woman. She didn't mean to, he was abusing her. He said, no, y'all, like, let's keep it even, man. What are we doing? She should be held responsible just as much as, a guy would. I have to say that. Yeah, ABC knew. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Pika. But it's like, if she's doing this on camera, just imagine the shit that's happening when the cameras are not on. Okay? And that's the thing. And I'm sure he's not a good guy. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure that they have a very toxic relationship and they're not good for each other. Right. But at the same time, it's like, like, we have to keep the same energy, because I'm telling you, DV, it's not one-sided. There's two. And then when children are involved, you have two people that, however the dynamics may be, when children are involved, they can also get hurt. And I've seen it time and time again. And they're really sad stories. It does happen. It does. Art, thank you so much for the 1999. The government does not literally mean mind control in Latin. It is from the Latin verbiage, gobernar, to steer, pilot, or direct. The connection to mind controller is a popular modern, oh my God, is it emptyological myth? Ooh, thank you so much, Art, for this education. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for the 1999. And Fizz, thank you so much for this listening and judging. Y'all, that's what we do. Y'all, thank you so much for supporting the channel. Make sure you guys are hitting that like button, please. Thank you. Yeah, so it goes both ways, right? Both ways. Okay. It is double standards, but it's true. If this was a man, people would, if this was the Bachelor, not the Bachelorette, I'm just saying, like, I feel like we have a lot of double standards when it comes to this. And this woman right here, if y'all have seen her in a show, she has no emotional maturity. I don't know what it is about her. I don't know why people are attracted to this. You know, it makes great, I guess she's got that trash ass reality TV personality, but I just can't. I can't with her. You're kidding. For some people, woosah is a lifestyle. For others, it's a 3-second pause before the sequel to the original probe starts. You said, hold up. There's no excuse, and I'm disgusted she did that because she did have a mental breakdown when he kept cheating. She should have stayed away, and they all knew about it. At some point, when children are involved, it's as much as the woman can be a victim, don't get me wrong, because it does happen, right? And typically women stay in situations because, you know, they don't want to break up their, you know, they're thinking about their kids, right? But it's very easy for a child to become a victim, even though someone is staying in that relationship just to protect the child or, you know, to keep the family unit there. But the double standards are there and people need to kind of recognize that, you know what I mean? So, yeah. Anyways, moving on. So footage of the arrest was central to the first episode of The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, the series that put Miss Paul on the reality television map. Miss Paul has discussed the criminal case extensively in interviews, describing it as a catalyst for getting the mental health treatment she needed. As far as how she spoke about the harm done to her daughter that night, Miss Paul was, sounding remorseful and defensive as in a confessional interview in season 2 of Mormon Wives. No, like she got a slap on the wrist, the fact that they were able to drop that charge. She should have had that charge. Publicly available documents and video, including podcasts and police body cam footage released in response to a records request. Paint a full picture of Mrs. Paul's daughter was caught in the middle of her mother's violent episode. I want to see the records request on this and how the reality star grappled with the stain on her reputation as she became a bankable public persona. That was one of my lowest nights on freaking TV, and it's embarrassing, says Miss Paul in September on an episode of the podcast Call Her Daddy, which served as the announcement of her casting on The Bachelorette. But with that has come a lot of learning lessons. I've become a better mom because of it. How much you want to bet that this is not the first time, and it won't be the last time that she'll have these kinds of meltdowns? And Dakota's one guy. I'm sorry. It's just like, to me, she kind of gives me, she's got a lot of inner work to do. And you're in a reality TV show as The Bachelorette to find whatever partner. And that might be a show or whatever it may be, but you just, I don't know, man. I've seen enough of this woman to be like, you got a lot of work to do, girl. You really do. Miss Paul, 31, now facing deepening legal troubles after Dakota, with whom she shares a 2-year-old son, accused her in recent weeks of instances of DV, prompting investigation in 2 Utah police departments. But it was the new evidence about the years-old encounter that basically took that Bachelorette season off the table. When Miss Paul has made public statements recounting that night, February 17, 2023. She explained that she had been struggling emotionally after series of personal challenges, including a divorce the previous year and a recent ectopic pregnancy. Okay. Yeah, your hormones are going to be crazy. Don't get me wrong. Especially, I had one of these. And let me tell you, the hormones are crazy. It never made me want to go violent on people, but ectopic pregnancies are scary because I've had miscarriages and I've had ectopic pregnancies. Ectopic pregnancies are scary when you don't catch them early because it's in the tubes, right? And what it does is that, you know, what is it? Your blood levels, they go up. So like there's a certain line of like as you're having a baby and your baby's growing and every week your blood levels are going to increase, right? And there's if your pregnancy is normal, there's like a certain range that it lands in. But in ectopic pregnancy, I'll never forget, man, when I had one, I was literally 3 weeks and it felt like I was already, I don't know, 2 months in. And the amount of back pain, and it wasn't like I was, I'm talking about I was 125 pounds, back then. So I was a skinny mini, girl. So it wasn't like I had a lot of weight, but I definitely felt very pregnant and it felt like the hormones were crazy. So to me, this is like, I can understand that piece. Doesn't excuse the behavior because I never got violent and I know a lot of people don't. Earlier, she has said they'd been drinking at a friend's party and descended into sadness, then anger. So the alcohol made her upset. Uh, when uh, when when Dakota drove her home from the party, they bickered about her drinking and the argument grew in intensity back home. He said after he told her she shouldn't go to another location that night. Dakota told police that he tried to shove her out of his way in an attempt to leave the argument. She threw objects at him in the garage. And you could see the body cam footage right there. He's talking about it too.
Hit her
Insane.
a little bit. And then I was trying to help her, and she was still going after me. And her daughter's right there on the couch. So I'm freaking out about that. One of the chairs did hit her a little bit.
Oh my God.
And then I was trying to help her, and she was still going after me. And her daughter's right there on the couch.
He's even saying that one of the chairs hit her a little bit. Now she's the one that's drinking. He's the only one that's sober, right? I don't like arguing with drunks. I'm gonna tell you, I've had too many bad experiences. I just let them be. I don't try to make any type of argument or anything. I tend to leave. I probably would have left with the child and just let her be and let her kind of sober up and everything if she was that off. Okay. Just before 11 p.m. that night, a neighbor had called 911 and reported hearing screamings across the street. During an interview with an officer at the Herman Police Department in Utah, Taylor said that she had latched out in reaction to Dakota having pushed her. When the officer told her that she was being arrested under suspicion of domestic violence, she was in shock. Of course, I'm a woman, right? You can't do that to me.
For domestic violence. Okay. So before I talk to you more about it, I need you to turn around and place your hands behind your back.
So is he not at all?
Not tonight, no.
I'm confused. So he pushed me and I'm under arrest? Why?
Of course, she looks like a hot mess.
At this time, you're going to be placed under arrest
Why?
for DV.
That's crazy. In a police report, an officer noted scratches on Dakota's fingers, a minor laceration on his neck, and his reporting pain around the elbow. The child was not initially examined by any authorities, but after leaving the scene, the investigating officer watched the video of the attack in the middle of the night. He called Taylor's mother, who had reached the scene not long after police arrived to take care of her 2 grandchildren. Oh my God. The officer asked Taylor's mother to check for any signs of injuries on her granddaughter, and she told him that she did not see any. About a week later, a detective checked in with the girl's father, Taylor's former husband, who said he noticed a little bump on the daughter's head. Oh my God. Should have taken her to the doctor, hospital, or something. And here's a narrative from the police report. I called the father, Tate Paul, and spoke with him about it. He told me there's no noticeable injuries that you could see. However, when he felt, redacted name of child, head, he could feel a little bump in pain. Oh, that was painful. He said he tried getting a photo of it and it was not able to due to her hair and its small size. She should have had like some medical attention there. The police referred the case to the Utah Division of Child and Family Services, okay, and a caseworker filed a report, which is not public. Yeah, you can't get that. A spokesperson for the division declined to comment. Ms. Paul said that she was not allowed to see her daughter for a month after the arrest, so when officers visited the home about a week after the encounter, she appeared to learn for the first time that her daughter had, in fact, showed signs of a minor injury. In her exchange with the officers, Ms. Paul suggested that she thought the video taken of the assault, which Dakota had handed over to the police, would make clear that she had no intention of hurting her daughter. Oh my God.
Child abuse.
Okay. So I guess even, I don't know, I'm just freaking out because it was obviously like an accident. Do they take all that in consideration? And I'm sure they have footage of it since there was a video filmed. Do they take that in consideration that I wasn't like aiming for my daughter? And
Well, that's why it's reckless, right? That's why it's not just.
Yeah, I'm sure that the lady who threw the wine glass thing wasn't aiming for the child. And this is what happens is people aren't trying to hurt their kids, but their kids are there and they get hurt. It's like you can't, you don't want to hurt your child. Your argument is with the person, with the adult, but because they're present, anything goes when things get heated.
The straight child abuse.
Okay.
Crazy.
So I guess even, I don't know, I'm just freaking out because it was.
No, and that's the thing about her. Even now, with the statement, it's like she takes no real accountability. She's like, "Well, that happened in 2023," and then when people that are fans of her, they're and like I said, I'm sure Dakota is not, the best person. I'm not making excuses, but if you're in a toxic relationship like this, and then there's children involved, and y'all are doing the most with your children there, what do you think is they don't deserve that, right? These are two adults. The same video published by TMZ was turned over to the New York Times in response to a police records request. An officer encouraged Dakota to give the footage to the police, saying it could help protect him against Taylor's account that she had been responding to his aggression that night. In the wake, and like I said, this is what the media says and everything, but ultimately these are two adults making these decisions. In the wake of the ordeal, which quickly attracted media attention, Taylor described it as a wake-up call. She started therapy and anti-anxiety medication, and per the recommendation of a court order assigned mental health evaluator, took parenting courses and the effect of alcohol use have on parents' lives. Her plea agreement with prosecutors included 3 years of probation with the possibility of getting her felony assault charge downgraded to a misdemeanor. No, she shouldn't. I'm sorry. If she followed all the court conditions, which included not drinking alcohol or violating any laws. How's that worked out? In the podcast following the plea agreement, she took accountability for the altercation, describing herself as having been the aggressor and saying that Dakota had just been trying to defend himself. Okay. Her descriptions of whether the chair actually hit her daughter or not varied. In an interview with Nick, the pop culture podcaster and former star of The Bachelor in 2024, right around the time Mormon Wives first premiered, she was presented with the question. What did she say?
So in the police report, it does say it hit her, but in reality, we didn't know if it hit her. It might have not have hit her at all. So I think they're upstairs.
We don't know if it hit her, but that she was confronted that her daughter had an injury, and they believe that it was a bump, whether it was small or not. So why is she saying something different here? This is why I can't stand this lady. I really can't.
But I think they're upstairs sleeping. And so I just started throwing things. I'm so mad. And I throw a chair and Dakota's like, hey, and he's like, here. And I'm so gone that I don't care. And I throw another chair and it we don't know if it hit her or not, but it sounded like it did. So in the police report, it does say it hit her, but in reality, we didn't know if it hit her. It might have not have hit her at all. So I think
Taylor Frankie Paul. In the police report, it sounds like it, but we really don't know. Girl, it hit her. Just say it. It hit her. It hit her. If it's in the police report, it hit her. That's it. And that's why we got to be careful with people like this. Give me 1 second, guys. This is that accountability part. This is what are you doing? It hit her. We don't know if it hit her. No, it hit her. You were confronted. You said, I didn't mean to. That's fine. That's that reckless part. You didn't mean to. Nobody means to, but it does happen. Over the next year, Taylor's profile rose rapidly. Once a small-time social media influencer, she became an A-list reality TV talent capable of landing deals with the likes of Ulta and Taco Bell. Oh, my God. The clearest proof that entertainment industry was taking her seriously came in September of last year when she was named the next Bachelorette. In the podcast episode announcing the role, she described the arrest as the ordeal that was behind her and denied hurting her daughter. You don't get to do the work You don't get to do this shit and then deny the behavior just because it's behind you. That's like Gypsy Rose. I put the murder somewhere else. But then when there's a viral opportunity, we listen and we don't judge. Like, no.
We listen and we don't judge.
It doesn't look like that, y'all. It just doesn't. It really doesn't.
Think about me in that situation. Obviously, it's like my kids because they were involved, right? Of like, they were in the house, and I never. The charges were all dropped. I never had hurt my daughter. I never intentionally did anything with my children. I never have ever, and so that was like the hardest time. I never really even think about me in that situation.
Lord have mercy, y'all. The ABC executives, it was an unfortunate part of her past, but one that had been dealt with head on. Taylor had faced the justice system and the child abuse charges had been dismissed, along with the DV counts, a fact that reassured executives and said the person familiar with the show's decision-making process. News later emerged of another altercation. So there was another altercation. Good Lord have mercy, because you just can't help it. There was another altercation between Taylor and Dakota last month, and Mormon Wives paused filming its 5th season. At first, ABC stood by their bachelorette until the video. A video acts as a catalyst for action unlike anything I have ever seen. Said Mark Garagos, a criminal defense attorney who had often deals with cases in the entertainment industry. Garagos noted that the video's release raised the question of whether television producers associated with The Bachelorette or Mormon Wives knew the video existed, and if so, whether they had the responsibility to seek it out to see it for themselves before making Taylor their star. For many reality TV fans and commentators, the video forever changed how they viewed Taylor and her show. The bottom line was that the second the kid was there and got hit with the chair, you didn't run to protect your daughter from what you did. Sorry, you lose all points with me. This is what a TV producer said. Other fans felt confident that this full story of Taylor's tumultuous relationship with Dakota was more complicated than they knew. And yes, I can agree to this statement, but it still doesn't excuse anything else. With some pointing to a statement about her public relations team that alluded to a plan to air her own grievances. A spokesperson for Ms. Paul last week said that she is currently exploring all of her options, seeking support, and preparing to share her own story. Lord, no. The Mormon Wives fandom is accustomed to seeing toxic cycles of conflict between on and off again couples. So this is like a thing. They're okay with it. Once a child is really brought into that and is being harmed in front of our eyes, she said, that is much harder to rationalize. Taylor has yet to make another major statement about her legal troubles, which threatened the plea agreement she reached in 2023 with prosecutors. Well, why is that even still in place if she's denying any wrongdoing? Like, why? Like, she's gone on these interviews. Why haven't they removed this? But fans have noticed her gradually returning to comment sections on social media. In one comment this week on TikTok videos addressing the controversy, Taylor suggested that the video's release would not help her daughter, who is now 8 years old. Oh my gosh. Worst part, she wrote, is my daughter having to relive and see it all over again years later after extensive work with her and apologies to her about that night. Y'all let me know what you guys think. I know we spend a significant amount of time on this lady, but she's just like, she's trash. I just can't. I can't, and I won't. Okay. All right. Let's talk about Nancy Guthrie, because yesterday there was a rumor circulating about her body being found, and people were they had found a body, and immediately people assumed that this was possibly Nancy, right? So a woman's body pulled from the Scottsdale canal. And now this was 19 hours ago, but I believe that they have identified the body at this point, and it's not Nancy Guthrie. This was a separate victim of a different situation. So I think it's kind of, important to note that. Now, hold up. Let me see if I can pull real quick. Where did I see it? Was it Jennifer Coffendeffer? So she had said, she had posted an update. No, is it there? So like this was the woman found was not Nancy according to authorities. So they did make a statement. A death investigation underway after an adult woman's body was recovered from a canal near the Indian Bend and Hayden Road on March 28th. Police and fire personnel were first called to the area around 8 a.m. after someone walking along the canal saw the body in the water. Responding police and fire personnel coordinated with SRP and CAP to recover the body from the water and began the death investigation. Scottsdale detective and crime scene specialists responded to the scene to collect evidence and thoroughly documented the scene. Due to the condition of the body, investigators are initially unable to confirm if there was traumatic injuries present. The investigation is still in the early stages as detectives work to identify the person who ended up in the canal. The Maricopa County medical examiners will ultimately determine the cause of death. So they have a report number for that. But what we have so far, and this was, let's see, this was yesterday. They said that it's not her, but I want to see if not Nancy. Just want to make sure. I want to confirm that because I thought that that's what it heard. Okay, yeah. So we do have. Who said it? Oh my God, it feels like such a long time ago. These reports, it's like, really, it's been that long since we've been following this? It's been like 50 plus days at this point. 50 plus days from this? Anyway, so Jennifer Coffindaffer said that the woman found was not Nancy according to authorities. I haven't seen anything else to say that it's not Nancy. It's been 2 months. I'm trying to find out where did they make a statement? Nah. Huh. Hold up. I'm going to see if I can pull another report real quick. Because I want to see. Because they haven't made a statement. Okay. So here I have. But this is Parade. I don't know if there's any accuracy to these articles. I just don't know where these articles. I mean, if you take Parade, I don't. Nancy Guthrie update. Body found in Scottsdale Canal prompts death investigation. A female body has yet to be identified by the Maricopa County medical examiners. That was today, though. So how do we know it's not her? So the investigation is underway, though the body has not yet been identified. So why are people saying that it's not her if they haven't identified the body yet? It's the second time that they have found a body in the canal while the search has been going on with Nancy Guthrie. There's a statement on X. Okay, let me see if I can find it because I didn't see it. Now it's going to be the Scottsdale Police Department. Because they're not saying that it's not her. They're saying that they believe it's not her, but I need to find the statement where it says it's not her. See, I feel like we're getting different statements and whatnot about it. I don't feel like we really got a whole. See, this is yet 19 hours ago, body found, but they're not saying it's her. So you had all these people there. See, I'm trying to see if we can confirm this. Hold up. Parade. Parade is the only one? I'm looking at other news sources. So here's the Mountaineer. I've never heard of this publication, but it looks kind of like, yeah, it looks local. Hold up. Nothing. Hold up. Sorry, I'm looking for articles, guys, as I'm reading this. Insider, yeah, I don't see anything. I think they're still waiting to identify. They're not saying they believe it's not her. That's what it sounds like the consensus is, but they're not saying it's not her. I don't know. Yeah, I haven't even seen Brian Enton post anything about it. Let me see if I can find Brian Enton real quick. I think Brian Enton would, if he felt like, he'd probably be the first one, honestly. Okay. Let's see. Brian Enton, where'd you go? Here it is. See, he posted a video day 55, but that was on the 27th. They haven't said anything else. He hasn't posted anything else. So we'll keep an eye on it, but there's a report out there. So there's that. Lord have mercy. Hold up. Breaking. Nancy Guthrie discussion. This is what I call social media panhandling. Oh, Lord have mercy. Is the internet still after are we still after Kash Patel? Kash Patel was hacked. Oh my god. Let me stop. Anyways, all right. So yeah, I'm not hearing anything about a body yet. So until they confirm that it's not her, I guess we'll kind of go from there. That's it. Anyways, shout out to everybody in the chat, y'all. Joey, thank you so much for this 499. I'm sorry I missed it. Let's not also forget women and men who stay with abusers are turning their children into adult abusers. Ain't that the truth, Joey? This is why it's okay to separate and divorce. You know, you don't want situations like Caleb Flynn, who had to allegedly killed his wife, and like, get divorced. It's okay. You know, it's okay. You said, hey, and thank you so much, Joey. Hey, Rabbit, have you ever noticed how good looking your chat is? I just did all these years. Oh, that's good. Shout out to my good looking chat. Spider Cash. All right, guys, I gotta go because I gotta go pick up baby Bunny, and I'm getting a call from the sitter already. So I was only given an hour, so I gotta go. But y'all, let me know what you guys think in the comments. We're gonna be following. Let me know. Let me know what you guys think. Okay. And I will see you guys on the next one. Hit the like button, and hype up. Thank you, guys. Hey, Franny Law. Shout out to my beautiful, wonderful Franny Law. Thank you. Oh, yes. And shout out, y'all, first of all, thank you so much for those that supported Super Chats, Cash App, and Venmo. Thank you. I appreciate everybody. Thank you. Yes, I got to check it. Thank you so much, Jasmine, everybody, Daisy Girl, everybody. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. That's going to be moved to, y'all know what I'm talking about. If you haven't checked, if you're a member, you need to go check the members' videos. I uploaded a video. Well, I did it live yesterday on members only, and you'll be up to date about what I'm talking about, okay? And thank you, guys. I'll see you guys later. I got to go. Bye, guys. Sitter's calling. Bye, guys.